Hi there. This tutorial explains how I made this bold and fun tree fort for Vacation Bible School in 2015. Our theme this year is Journey Off the Map, and that theme lends itself to this off the beaten path kind of tree fort image. And this tree fort is in our sanctuary. It's big and it's bold, and when the kids walk in the very first night, it's going to be fun for them to see something big and chunky like this. It's not important to be exact on everything and to make everything look perfect so far as home construction. The important thing is just to unleash the children's imagination with something fun and exciting. This year's theme is trying to take kids to a place that they've never been before. And this tree fort, as the kids see it every day, it reminds them that God is with them. And it also reminds them that they can use their imagination and have a lot of fun. Okay, now to the construct of this tree fort. I'm just going to give some basics. I think you'll get the idea pretty quickly. And then at the end of this tutorial, I'm going to give you a parts list or a shopping list. The main construct is 1-inch PVC. It's a terrific thing to work with because you can reuse the pieces year after year. Each of these walls, if you will, is 4 foot square. The ceiling is 4 foot square. The flooring of it is 4 foot square. And that's important. I wanted each side to be 4 foot square because the sheets of insulation that I used for the walls come in 4 foot by 8 foot sections. And so it just makes sense to be able to be economical as I purchased those insulating sheets. So I wanted each side, all 4 of the sides, and then the top and the bottom to be 4 foot square exactly. Now, a word of caution here. When you're measuring for each 4 foot span of pipe, you need to allow a little bit, maybe a 1/4 inch on either side of those fittings. And that's because in those fittings there's a small space or an empty space. So don't just think you're going to get 4 foot of pipe and expect everything to work out. So, measure a part of it and construct a part of it. If it comes out right, then go ahead and use those measurements to make it a 4 foot cube. You'll get the idea, and it'll work really quick. Now, as we look at this wall, I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I want you to see the pieces of it. In the middle here is this vertical piece. It's a 4 foot vertical piece. At the top is a T-fitting, and that connects that top beam there down all the way to, I suppose, you could call it the floor beam. And now that bottom, it's hard to see. Let me zoom out a little bit. This is in, this is out. Okay. That's actually a cross there to connect that vertical piece with the horizontal piece. And now when I give you the parts list, I think it's all going to make sense. The corners here are 90-degree elbows. And I told you that these insulating panels come in 4 foot by 8 foot sections. Also, you're going to notice some ivy that I put in various places just to kind of break up the edges and make it seem like it's out in the middle of the jungle, perhaps. All of the PVC pipe I painted with a flat brown spray paint. It's really easy to work with. And then also those insulation pieces, they don't come looking like that camouflage. They actually come green at Lowe's. And I just was crazy with the spray paint and wanted to break it up a little bit. And now to the base. Let me pan down here. And this is what's going to hold it all together. This is 2x4. And again, I wanted to make a 4 foot square so that it could be the exact footprint of the tree fort that's above it. Now connecting the pipe, these stilts, and by the way, I use 6 foot stilts because I wanted this tree fort to be way up in the air. You'll see some U-shaped pipe clamps. That's sort of difficult to see, but those U-shaped pipe clamps will connect it. That is all you need. I thought that maybe I would need more support for it, but that's plenty of support if you're using 1-inch PVC. It's a really strong pipe and very sturdy. It's not going to fall down unless the children try to climb up into your tree fort, and then you're in trouble. So I gave you the word of caution about measuring those 4-foot sections there. Make sure that you allow for your fittings. So I dry fit the PVC for these decorations because I like to reuse the material. Don't worry about gluing it together. It will stay together. You can paint it in individual pieces, or you can paint it in sections as you go along, hopefully outside and not in your sanctuary. Pastor might not be happy about that. Like I said, I use a flat brown paint that sort of mimics the branches. Those walls, again, are 4-foot by 8-foot panels of insulation board. I think this is used underneath vinyl siding on the exterior of homes. So cut it down and paint it in whatever design looks good to you. I lightly painted it with brown. So now this ivy, it comes in 6-foot strands, and it is expensive if you buy it in the U.S. at like Michael's or at Hobby Lobby. I bought this from China in an e-packet shipment. If you've never ordered something from China in an e-packet, it takes weeks, at least 3 weeks, sometimes 6 weeks. But I had the time to wait for it, and it was super cheap doing it that way. So whatever works for you. Now, finally, with this base, as I said, I screwed it together. I screwed it together with some nice sturdy, I think 2.5-inch screws. And then I also used those U-shaped pipe clamps to kind of hold the 1-inch pipe on there. Okay, now let me pan back up to show that to you and give you your shopping list or your parts list. You're going to need 72 linear feet of 1-inch PVC pipe. Whatever's the cheapest. You know, often Schedule 40 PVC is on sale. So if that's the cheapest thing, then get it. Make sure that it looks nice and sturdy. But 72 feet of 1-inch PVC pipe. You're going to need a total of 8 1-inch 90-degree elbows. These are for all 4 corners on the top and all 4 corners on the bottom. You'll need 4 1-inch T's. These T's will be used on the center top on all 4 sides. And then 4 1-inch crosses, and these are used on the bottom center of each side. And then you'll need about 16 foot, I guess it would be 16 foot of 2x4 lumber. And that's so that you can have a 4-inch base, a 4-foot square base. You'll need 3 of these insulation sheets. As I said, they come 4 foot by 8 foot. So you'll need a total of 3 of those because you have 4 sides and then a floor. I'm not going to use a ceiling, but you would have enough for a ceiling as well. I'm not using a ceiling because frankly it's high enough so that no one's going to see inside of the top of it. And then 4 of those 1-inch pipe clamps, those U-shaped pipe clamps. Lots of tie wraps. Now, the tie wraps are used for 2 things. The tie wraps sort of hold the ivy. You can connect the ivy to the PVC pipe. And I'm going to try my best to zoom in, but the tie wraps also hold your insulating sheets. Yeah, you can't really see it. The tie wraps are also used to hold the insulation sheets to your structure, to your PVC pipe. And this is done by taking a nail and poking a hole and then threading the tie wraps through that hole, wrapping it around the pipe and then going through the other hole and then connecting it on the other side. Do you understand that? So this is just lightly holding. Those insulation sheets, they're super light, just a couple of ounces each, and it doesn't take very much to hold them in place. So you're hanging those sheets in place, tie wrapping them where you need them. So lots of tie wraps to hold not only the insulation sheets to your PVC pipe, but also all that ivy as you're draping it in various places. And I'm not finished draping my ivy all over this. I plan to have lots of it so it looks sort of like a jungle. And then you will need, 10 to 20 strands of ivy. I think they come in 6-foot strands. So as much as you think you have. Have fun with this. I think that you get the basic idea of it. I really just I wanted to spur your imagination and let you know that you can make something really huge and really interesting and awesome for the kids to see as they come into the sanctuary. As through the years, I've done a tutorial, I think, on building a roller coaster in the sanctuary, just doing different stuff. And every year I try to make something big and bold in the sanctuary. And I do this so that it captures the children's attention. It tries to transport them to a different place. And this year, really important theme again, no matter where the kids go, no matter how far they are, even how far they stray, they are never out of the presence of God. The Lord is with them. And so I think that this is going to be fun for you to do. If you want to leave a message after the video, that's fine. If you have a question, I'll try to look and answer your questions the best that I can. Hopefully this has given you a really good idea. Have fun with it. Have a great summer and a terrific VBS. Hopefully lots of children in your church get to hear about the good news of Jesus Christ. I'm praying for you. Pray for me also. We're going to have a lot of fun. God bless.